Good afternoon, everybody out there in the interwebs. Welcome to Bus Thoughts with Brother Beard. I'm Brother Beard, and there's my bus. On this show, I like to take just a few minutes every day and share some of the thoughts that I have while I'm getting these little darlings to and from school every single day. One of the thoughts I had this morning is, why is it that a can of Coke tastes so much better than Coke out of a 2-liter bottle or out of a fountain or anything else? I mean, there's just something about that crisp, cold Coke that comes out of a tin can. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to think about it a little bit more. And if I ever come up with something, I'll be sure to let you know. But in the meantime, I wanted to share a few words with you this afternoon about community, about the need for community. You see, a lot of us have forsaken our communities as far as church goes. Now, not intentionally, but because of all the fear of corona, because of the quarantine and all of the restrictions set in place, and frankly, just not wanting to catch a disease that can cause a lot of harm and damage to us. People have been staying at home, which is not a bad thing. Believe me, I don't judge you at all for wanting to stay home and avoid possibly catching coronavirus. I have people in my church who have pre-existing medical conditions who have not been at the church in a long time because of fear of what the coronavirus could do to them. And by all means, protect yourself. Make sure that you are taken care of. I'd much rather you stay at home and be safe than come to the church and get exposed and then have to preach a funeral. Believe me. But now that the vaccines are rolling out, now that we are seeing the numbers starting to trend downward and hopefully continuing to go downward, we are being able to get back to business as usual in a lot of instances, and that includes gathering back together. And I've had people before who have asked me, do you have to attend church if you're a Christian? Well, technically, no. Technically, no, you do not have to go to church if you are a Christian. You are just as much saved as the person who's in the building every single time the doors are open. However, in the same sort of vein, you don't really need a boat to get to England by water either. You can swim if you want to, but oh boy, that's going to be a whole lot more difficult. Getting through life without a church family is more difficult because you don't have that community, that family. And I emphasize family because a church is different than any other group. It's not a civic organization. It's not a club or something else. It's a family where we love each other, where we support one another. It's a place where you can go and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with. And instead of having judgment or condemnation, you get support and prayer and people who are willing to help. At least that's the way that it should work in our churches, that we should be trying our best to support our fellow brothers and sisters through their struggles, being excited and celebrating with them in their triumphs and their joys. That's the community of faith. Not to mention, it's nice having those people that you can say, hey, I need prayer, and they're praying. Or, you know what, a tree fell across my fence. Can I get some help with some chainsaws? And being able to do that and help one another and build community together. And so I just want to encourage you to gather together, to have that family of faith. And I understand there are folks who are still leery about getting out, about going and being in public and in large groups. That's okay. That's okay. We've got folks at our church who haven't been there in a while because of medical conditions. And guess what? They're still part of the family. We still care for them. We still pray for them. We still check on them. We still love them. But if you can be there, be there. And if you don't have a family of faith, if you don't have that community, you need to get one. I want to share with you very briefly here from the book of Hebrews in chapter 10, where the writer talks about community. And he says, verses 24 and 25, let us consider how to stimulate one another to love and good deeds, not forsaking our own assembling together, as is the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near. Not forsaking the gathering together. To continue to meet together, to continue to come together, whether it's on Sundays or Wednesday nights. Maybe you don't want to attend a big church gathering on Sunday, but you have a small group that you can get together with. You have a group of 3 or 5 friends that you can come together with and study the Bible and pray together and bear one another's burdens. That's what it's about. That's what the community, that's what the family is about. It's about bearing one another's burdens. And as the Bible tells us, as iron sharpens iron, so man sharpens another man. As we talk about our faith, as we talk about our struggles, we encourage one another. We lift each other up. We make our brother and sister stronger that we're spending time with. But in the same time, we are becoming stronger. Our faith is growing, and we are becoming better versions of ourselves and being more like Christ, which is, of course, the goal. So I just want to encourage you to gather with your church family. If you don't have one, find one. I mean, my goodness, if you're in the South, you can hardly throw a rock without hitting a church building. Find one, get involved, get active, and be a part of that community. That's all I got for you today, folks, and I'll see you again on Monday. I love you. God bless.